Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining the session today. This is the part one of the three webinars that we are going to have, focusing specifically on use of GIS and geospatial technology and its integration with multiple systems to enable an efficient water management and water utility assets mapping uh, within the confines of the water distribution ecosystem. To start with, I'm Dr. Pradeep, and with me today, we have Mithika to help me run this webinar, which will be in two parts. We'll initially have some slides to uh, showcase what we want to speak, what we'll be doing, and then Mithika would take up and go into the technical details and also have a demo to showcase how the solution works. And to start with, we are ISRI India. We represent the geospatial major ISRI, which brings in onto the table one of the most powerful analytical and geospatial technology platform, the ArcGIS. Spread across the globe, we have been supporting a number of customers across industry domains, right from water utilities, natural resource management to national security and the analysis and the locational intelligence. In India, we have been very fortunate enough to be associated with all the major nodal agencies, implementation agencies, both at the national and the state level. And for the past 25 years, we have been helping them derive their geospatial roadmap, implement those geospatial technologies, and now also embark upon the digital transformation scenarios as location and locational intelligence is becoming core to any of the organizational processes. So when we talk about this organizational processes, it is imperative that we have a holistic view of what our customers are doing. So when we talk about networks and assets, we will have to look at it right from the source up to the last mile and the sink, because everywhere it is an interconnected, interdependent network wherein there are multiple sources, there are multiple consumers, there are multiple assets coming in. So until and unless we have this holistic view of the network, it becomes difficult to maintain, manage, and also meet the customer requirements and the customer success, what is actually required and expected out of any of the water utilities. So for that, from a GIS perspective, we would need to have a modern network mapping systems, which is enabled with locational intelligence, it is enabled with asset intelligence, and also provides a seamless connectivity both on the upstream as well as on the downstream areas. And it is this transformation of looking at the small silos that were there to an holistic view is what the GIS for digital transformation is all about. We need to look at the entire gamut and entire spectrum of systems, and GIS and location being core of it enables all the integrations, the data flows, the stakeholders, and the impact of the demographic and environmental changes, which will be part and parcel of this entire digital transformation journey. So the core of that, the challenge comes in, how do I model this real world scenarios into the system, which is dependable, which is accurate, and which is updated. So how do I do it? How do I trace the systems? How do I model those flows that are there? Then once this entire data is there, how do I establish the collaborative environment that is required for any successful implementation of business processes. How do we coordinate between the field where the actual activity is going on, whether it is the field staff that are working on the assets, the contractors that they are laying and maintaining those assets, the linemen who are updating the entire information, the attending to the customers, their complaints. At this back end in the office, the managers, the management, which is looking at how to improve the services and the service quality while maintaining the water quality parameters, the safety of the field and the equipment that is laid out. This entire collaborative environment also needs to be considered. Now, for these two, organizations over a period of time have implemented multiple systems, billing systems, the SCADA systems. How do we integrate this entire gamut into one and look at a digital transformation story driven through a locational intelligence system is the current process. And that's where the entire asset management becomes a holistic view, and the requirement comes up as to why we need to have a GIS and a GIS based water asset management systems. So once we have this entire view and start integrating the intelligence, it definitely gives us the areas where there is a higher contamination, areas which are reporting higher leakages, areas where we are going to have the future development and what is the kind of additional capacity to be developed, or what are the regulatory systems that needs to be established. This entire system now becomes very important and relevant. And to this extent, the ArcGIS platform provides this seamless components to bring all this together through our system of record. When we say system of record, it is not just the network information, not just mapping the networks, but also to bring in the additional information and the intelligence associated with these assets. So those intelligence can come from third-party systems. Those intelligence can come from third-party services on the web, which need to be integrated. When we have this consolidated system of record, now comes how do I exchange this with all my stakeholders, and hence the system of engagement. When we engage internally and externally, people and the processes, that establishes the entire business ecosystem and the workflows that are required through various user-specific, business-specific applications and maps. It becomes very relevant and hence aid a very good analytical view to the management as to what their entire network is on the ground, how it is performing, what kind of an complaint we are getting, which are those hotspots, which are those white spots, where are the consumptions higher, lower. This entire system of insights again is built into the ArcGIS platform to do the complete analytical part of it. So we have data converted into usable information as apps, collect those data, integrate, and then enable the analytics through the insights. So hence, that's why we were talking about a modern approach to utility management, wherein network modeling is one part of it, a base of it. But what about that modern utility network needs to provide is a capability for advanced visualization. When we say advanced visualization, irrespective of that, it should be a technology agnostic, it needs to be device agnostic, it needs to be access and being ubiquitous at all times. So whether it's on the web, whether it's through a browser, whether it's through a smart device on a mobile, we need to have these visualization capabilities and provide the analytical capabilities using this data. And that's where we bring in the pervasive access that is required. So with this, what I request now is to Mithika to take over and go in detail as to how the ISRI's modern utility network management capability can be brought in to manage that network modeling part, and then how that can be easily shared and moved across into the web and mobile, which can become a system of engagement. Mithika, please.
Thank you, Pradeep. Hi everyone. As Pradeep said, like how water industry is like changing the needs to fulfill the needs of the water industry. We have come up with a data model which is more advanced in terms of modeling, in terms of visualization and analytics, and its accessibility across all the platform, like in terms of web, in terms of desktop, in terms of mobile. So every user in an organization can get the access in any situation in terms of anywhere, like they're in the field workers and operations teams can access that. So this utility network model specifically for the today I'm talking about for the water utility is designed keeping in mind in all these directions, and it has been evolved from the earlier previous network. And this is also the capability which I am talking about. It is providing a service-based architecture. The service-based architecture promotes it to accessible in any environment and anywhere in any device. And it also enables the capability of modeling each and every asset of your network. Like we talk about in terms of whatever we are seeing on the ground, we can model everything on the platform. And being accessible through the service-based environment, it can be used in a multiple integration parameters also, like if it is being integrated with other systems like SCADA and other hydraulic systems also. So together all these forms a complete model which stores all the relevant information and which is helpful for giving all the analytical capability and intelligence for all the stakeholders in the organization. When I talk about the key elements of this data model, it has a list of elements which cover the some of the important key pointers, like starting from the data model side. It has a majorly two networks. One is the structure network. Structure network is the network which supports the asset. Like if I give an example of the walls, and if my water pipeline is underground, so the trenches and the walls, these are my supporting structures through which resources are not flowing, but these are providing an attachment and a support to the main asset or a water utility asset, like pipelines which are going through the underground network. So the structure network is the network like which is giving a supporting structure, can hold your asset and the network features. And then there is a domain network. Domain network is the network which represent how your resources flow. Here resources is the water, how it is flowing, like through the pipeline, different valves are there, different kinds of pump stations, different junctions. All this will be coming under the domain network. And then it has a capability of mapping the network tiers. So like it is when I am talking about the water industry, it is not only the water distribution, it is a sewer network, it can be a stormwater network, and it can be transmission system also. So it has a capability where you can map and monitor multiple tiers in a single network also. So it will you can map your transmission lines also and the distribution system both in a single network also. Then we have a specialized thing which is sub network, where you can map. When I talk about the water, we divide our area into different DMA zones and different pressure zones. So we can create these separate DMA zones using the sub networks, and we can identify the what are the pressures and what are the flow meters readings are there in the that DMA. So subnetworks is having a capability which gives your water network providing you a different pressure zones and different DMA zones, where you can do a DMA wise analysis also. And then asset groups and asset types. These are the ability to model the major and minor classification of your features in your network. Like if I take an example, let's say you have a water device, and in the water device we have a valve is the one of the feature, but we have a multiple types of valve, like it can be system valve, it can be pressure valve, flow meters are there. So these are the different data model identification or different data model mapping capabilities are there, where we are classifying our assets into different types of assets. And then we have also in this new model, we are also mapping the device terminal. These are the capability of this new model is there, where you can not only map the physical connectivity, here you can map the logical connectivity also. So these device terminals define the how your flow in the network is there, what is the source location, how it is flowing. All these valid pathways across your network is maintained in the terminals. Then this tool is having a lot of analytical tools, like identifying the isolation traces if any outage happens, any upstream trace, downstream trace connected, all these pathways through which commodity flows have all these out-of-box analytical tools are part of that. And the last thing one is, which is very important, of the creation of the single line diagram. So generally in a utility, water utility, there's a need, like they need to generate a single line diagram which can be easy identification. So here it has a capability where you can generate a dynamic diagrams out of that. So it helps, why I'm saying dynamic, whatever the change happens in the main asset data, the diagrams will be updated. And same way, if diagram has been updated, the maps can be updated also. So these are the dynamics, and being the capability of the ArcGIS Pro, you can have a both a diagram and a map view in a single interface also. So these are the few key capabilities of the this water utility network information model, which helps in creating the water asset management solution. Now, what is how this is giving a benefit to a water utility? So it is also having a part of a specific data model, which is a water distribution data model. And this data model, which we have already discussed, like it has a specifically two types of network. One is the domain network and the structure network. So if you can see, earlier we used to have map 30, 40, and 50 feature classes, maybe in the traditional version. But now you can see we have divided these domain network into specifically 5 feature classes, and then structure network into some specific feature classes. So this has also increased the performance in terms of accessing the data, querying the data, and doing the analytics like tracing and all. So this newer advanced data model is giving you physical, logical connectivity, as well as in terms of performance improvement and accessibility on a web-based interface and a mobile-based interface, and all it's commonly synced also. So how you can map all these assets in a data model. So we have a lot of foundation templates available. These can be easily downloaded, and it has these standard data models available, which can be used as a basic schema. And these data models are easily flexible and configurable. So the naming convention and everything can be changed, and you can map all your devices like water device, water valve devices, meter, regulator, all inside your device feature classes. And then these data models can be designed according to the utility. Once your data model is designed, there's a multiple capability which we have discussed, like in terms of key capability, we can all configured and manage here. So you can see there are there are 5 type of major feature classes, like one in the domain network, like these are the devices and the lines, junctions, and the structure feature classes, which are the supporting feature classes, which is supporting the domain network. So these are the class data model side. And also on top of that, we have various topological rules are enabled, and multiple maps are enabled for the viewing and the editing solution. This can be easily downloadable also, you can use as is by default, and further you can implement for your utility also. So all these, when you download these foundation templates, you'll get all these rules and domains, standard data model and asset packages also. And then this can be completely analyzed what kind of interfaces it has, and then this can be implemented on the utility data sets itself. When you bring this data sets into this it has a out-of-box symbology also, which is being set up by the experts, and the R&D has been done, and it has a various intuitive symbology which can be used to identifying the assets, and based on the whatever the attributes has been captured, it brings the intelligence to the data sets, like how the pipe network is there, what is the condition of pipe network, who is the manufacturer, when it has been installed, and how you can also do the predictive maintenance, like when it has been installed, what is the current status is there, and you also can go to the predictive thing, like how it has been their status, and with the inspection details you can predict, like if it has given a multiple outages, when it needs to be replaced. All these kinds of intelligence you can bring in the data, and you can share to different departments also. So these symbolization and intelligence can bring a more awareness towards your assets, and how you can get the real insights of your assets. Once your data sets is available, your data model is ready, everything is there. Now, how you can share this information to your multiple set of teams. So there can be field teams, which helps in increasing the productivity in terms of providing the real-time updates of the data, or any outage happened on the field, or any kind of inspection activity. And then other field which are sitting in the office, how they can access the data. So this data model which we have showcased is a service-based architecture. What I mean from the service-based architecture is, once you have ready data model, you can share this on an enterprise, and this can be easily accessed only through the service. So you can see the single truth is the service, and this can be accessible through the field application. This can be accessible through your multiple other dashboards and applications, can be accessed by the operations team which are sitting in the field, and any update which is coming through the field operation can be accessed here. And also for the planning and design team who is sitting in the office creating the data sets and doing any kind of analysis and hydraulic performance also. So how single service is being accessed everywhere, and everybody is getting the real-time updated of information. So this model actually bring in more efficiency in terms of accessing the REST services and being accessed by all the environments. And once this is being accessed to all the environments, the major thing is how you need to be keep updated with your assets, and whatever the happening in the field, you need to be updated, like what's happening in the field, how is the asset, if any asset is broken, tempered. So these services will be available through the mobile applications, and we have our ArcGIS field apps and Survey 123 apps are there, through which you can see where your network data sets are there, what's happening around there. And also you can use it for the collection of the data sets. Let's say you have fixed some standard data model, you can send it to this as an enterprise and accessible by the field user using our out-of-box applications, and that applications being plugged in with the some kind of GNSS receiver can give you more accuracy for the data collection also. And once you do the data collection, it will be synced automatically to the enterprise systems. And also the persons who are in the field, they can also update the information in terms of what's happening in the field, any kind of outage happening, any real-time update is there. So apart from the sensor information, there are some of the area where field workers are more aware of their areas, and they can provide you that input which is in terms of their area. So that can also be embedded through the field information. So how you can use these field applications for managing your assets, like first of all, you can use it for the construction period. So like if you have planning any asset planning kind of activity, so how much project progress has been done, what is how much construction has been done. So you can create all the as-bills and embed in the services. Another way is you can also do the real-time project tracking, like how much project has been completed, how much the pipeline has been laid down. So all with the very starting of the asset planning and asset management, you can use these field apps into project tracking purpose also. And then also you can share these field applications kind of thing to for the communication purpose, like you wanted to communicate to any operations teams or your maintenance team, planning team for any update. So that can also be done using the field application thing. Once these all multi-purpose things you can do to optimize your capital work. All the updates sitting in the people which are there in the office, or let's say project management team, planning team, operations team, they can get all the updates through the dashboards, different web applications, any field near-time field monitoring, any asset update, any project progress. So all the things are available in a multiple format which you can share to managers, different planning teams also, and the operations teams also. So this way, like whatever we have covered, like coming from the data model, how you can make this data model, and then it will be available to all the different groups like field workers, operations teams, maintenance team, planning team, through the multiple ways, like using the mobile apps, using the dashboards, and other things. So let me go back to my presentation to showcase you the data model part. I hope my screen is visible, Glory.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So this is a water utility map, and you can see this is in ArcGIS Pro screen. Before going into this, this is a sample data model which everybody who has joined here can explore that. How you can access this, I'll just cover that also. We can easily go in a solutions, ArcGIS solutions tab, in which a lot of solutions are available, in which you can go in a utilities, and then there all the data models are available, like sewer data management, stormwater data management for enterprise, and the water distribution data management for enterprise. Once you go it, what all it gives, all the sample data model, symbology, and multiple rules files and all. You can easily click on a get now and you can download this. Once you will download this, it will give you a complete package where you can explore all the water assets and the maps. And when you download this, it will give you a multiple maps like water distribution editor, water distribution simple network, utility network, all this will be a part of that. So let me show you, like here it is a water distribution editor map. And this solution is available on our foundation templates, and you can use the advantage of that. Like you can see a lot of symbology in terms of water distribution editor and water utility networks are available. It has also a lot of tasks are there. The people who are very new to this new data model, and which is advanced analytical data model, you can explore with these tasks also. So if you click on these tasks, it will tell you all the step by step, like how you can explore the data management solution, how tracing will done. So it has a multiple task workflows also. So this can be useful for the person who will be a fresher or will be using a very first this thing. And then you'll get all these databases and asset package also. So you can see, like in the right hand side, if you can see, this is one of the enterprise, this is a geodatabase, and we can also set up in an enterprise geodatabase also. Like this is any enterprise geodatabase, you can see, you can connect. And then inside this, like we were discussing in the presentation, like it has two types of majorly classes. One is the domain network, and inside the domain network we have a device, line, junction, assembly, and subnet line. So these 5 feature classes are part of that. And then there are supporting assets or the structures, which are the structure line, structure boundary, and service area. And then this is the utility network, and there are some associated tables are part of that. So earlier, where you will be managing 50, 40 feature classes, now these are being come under the devices, under the junction, under the line. So to increase the performance of the solution, they have put it inside this. So if you would like to see in the right hand side, inside the device, we have a multiple type of devices, like Like if you see a pump is one of the device, and inside there's a pump, different asset types are there. Like these can be booster pump, chemical pump, primary pump. Same way in the valve also, system valve, we can have a multiple valve type like isolation zone, supply valve, system valve, pressure valve. All these are different valves are there. So how this has been segmented now. Every point feature is being through which our resources is flowing is kept under the device, and then there are multiple types has been identified, and it been kept as an asset type and asset group. So how you can make your data model more intuitive and in a faster performance manner. We have segmentized into same way in the water line also, where you can see it has all different tiers like transmission main, distribution main, production, all these different types of classes are there. And once you enable a utility network capability, you can see in this, this is a utility network, and whatever we have discussed in terms of property, like it is having all the water network and the structure network layers. So how you can see the properties like inside the structure junction, what all layers are there, like pipe support, pipe hanger. Same way in the domain network, you can have a water device feature classes like system wall, what kind of asset type is there, what kind of asset group is there. All the kind of classification has been done in this data model. And then there are multiple rules are also implemented, which helps in creation of the anything, any new planning area, like somebody would like to do for a new connection or a new planning area. So all the rules are enabled. So these attribute rules and the logical rules and the physical rules, all these rules are there, which helps in, let's say, you cannot directly bring two pipelines of different diameter jointly together. So there should be some junction point should be there, or some fitting point should be there. So that kind of rules are embedded into this. Once you have enabled a utility network, you can see on top there is a utility network toolbar is there. All these tools are part of the utility network, where you have a network topology, association, all the kind of tracings are embedded as a part of that. And then there is a diagram capabilities are there. So these are the different tools are there. And also you can see in this, there is a complete sub-network things are also there, where you can manage in your complete area different zones, like these are the different isolation zone or a DMA zone. So let's say if I would like to trace any specific zone, it has traced down and I can directly zoom. So this is my one of the area which is having a certain set of assets. And if I would like to see the count of these assets, you can see these are the around 2052 features has been selected, and using the attributes I can see like what all features are there, how many walls are there. All these assets will be listed here. And now with the diagram capability, you can directly create a diagram out of that. So you can see here there's a diagram capability. Let's say I'd like to see in a single line diagram. So I easily can click and create a, sorry, I have some edits. So you can directly go and create a diagram. So you can see these are the single line diagrams, and here we need to define a source out of that. Let's say this is my source, or here all the assets are mentioned here. So let's say if somebody would like to take any specific source, he can write them. And then multiple layouts are there, like if I would like to generate in a ring manner, radial tree, smart tree. So there are tools are there where you can generate different edge bias, you can give orthogonal edges, you wanted to preserve a layout. So it will generate your layout accordingly. And it has a lot of capability where you can store these diagrams. You can give a labeling, you can change, let's say if system valve is there, I would like to give a different symbology. I can simply change the symbol. I can label my features. I can change the, let's say if I would like to change thickness of my water main. So you can create these multiple layouts wise diagrams also. And another thing is if I can switch you in the diagram with the main map. So you can see side by side, if I, let's say I clear this area. So let's say you have diagram and you have a map where you would like to understand like what is like which is the area where I am and where this diagram and where this area is there. So it has a capability in the diagram itself. Like if you select anything in the diagram, it will be reflected in a map. So let's say if I wanted to see which is this service line is there. So it is applying to map, which map it is. So side by side, you can directly update anything. If let's say if I update anything into this using the editing tools, it will be reflected and update extent is there. My diagrams will also be updated. So all these kind of things are there. Also, you can make your diagrams more beautiful if you let me show you these diagrams where you can give more symbology and labeling if you wanted to enable, and then you can save these diagrams which are there. So these diagrams are really helpful in terms of integration and to identify the like complete flow of your assets, how these assets are linked and on. Other some of the tool analytics tools which I tell you, like we have also the logical linking. So like you can see these are the different valves are there, and if I explore this is my water pipeline. This is a commercial server pipeline, and this is a flow assembly. So like I was telling in the presentation, it is showing you the real world picture. So here you are seeing these assets are not connected, but if you this is having an advanced modeling where you can see how the connectivity is there, and this is a assembly is a kind of feature where all these assets are there. So there is a complete containment mode is there where you can see it is a container, and inside these all these assets are been linked. And if you would like to see the modify these kind of association, and also it has a tool where you can add your features to modify and anything you wanted to change. So all these tools are available where you can see the associations, how this has been assembly is linked. If I would like to see this service point particularly. So it is showing me it is containing into one backflow assembly. So all these kinds of association you can manage where structure network and the domain network are linked to each other. Another thing is, let's say we would like to see, let's say there is some outage happens, or specifically for the water utility, there is a specific traces are present, which is a water isolation trace are there. And there are some use cases, let's say there's some outage happens and we would like to identify which are the walls which are open, or which are the walls which we need to close. So all these tools are part of that. So if you see in this utility network, in this there are specific traces are there. So let's run one isolation trace. So isolation trace is same with a valve isolation trace, and here we can take any starting point, like we need to identify this area there's any outage happens. So I just add my point, like I would like to identify if there's, and this is an outage, which is the nearest valve which we need to close and what are their conditions. So you can have this isolation trace and domain network and the TS, like we are working on a system tier. Here you can see multiple checkboxes are there. First I will run simply, like which are the walls which I need to identify. I simply run. Yeah, so I simply run and I need to identify the specific wall which are isolating. So it has all the criteria. So let's say in the previous version, we could not set the multiple filter criteria. Here we can set, like if you wanted to run a trace with the specific of the, in terms of material wise, in terms of different category wise, any disconnect. And so we are running in an isolating wise. So which walls are isolating this area? So you see these two red color walls has been highlighted. So you can directly see the attribute. These are the selected two features, and if I would like to see the attributes are there, these are my two system walls and what are their condition, whether they are open and closed. These things you can do. Another way is if you want to identify, let's say we have an integration with the other system, you identify how many customers affected, what all assets will be there. So in the same tool, there is a include isolated features. So if I run this, it will identify all the assets also which are getting affected out of that. So you can see now this this is having all the assets, all the consumers also, and the pipeline details also. Everything will be there. So now the selected features are been 85. So what kind of service walls are there, and what kind of hydrants are there? All these will be coming highlighted. So these are the some tools. Like other way, you can also have other tools like in terms of connected traces, isolation traces, and all. Another thing I would like to highlight is the very important point. So this is you can see. It has also a service-based thing. So this is a sample data. I will show you another data set. This is coming via service. So the best part of this utility network data model is this is accessible through the service. You can see this is a service, and here it is a capability where you can do the versioning also. So once I have published my data model, you can see in the portal, this is linked to portal, enterprise portal, and directly this is my SDE, but I am directly accessing my data from my portal, from inside the water, and then I have directly added this as an service. This is a REST service, and same service is accessible through the web application, through the dashboard, and through the mobile apps also. It has also advanced editing capabilities like, let me show you the editing capability. So let's say we are planning this area. So it has a capability where you can have complete editing tools. These are the editing tools, and you can also create the templates out of that. So let's say if I would like to place some specific template, which I have created in a favorite folder, I can just simply add a point. So you see, as I have added a point, there is a polygon area highlighted. This is a dirty area because I was discussing that it has a network topology enabled. So that's why this area is there. And then I will draw another feature, which is a service line or a residential service line, which is automatically getting snapped because of the topological rules embedded. And now I will place a meter or a service connection, which is there. This is also getting snapped. Now you see there are three, once I have placed this, there are three dirty areas that being highlighted. So now you can now we have a tool where we can enable the topology also. So this is a tool where you can run directly validate current extent. So whatever the editing has been done, you can see validation network topology successful. If it has been not properly placed, the person who will be in the field can also edit the features, and he can also directly editing the service. So this is being updated on the dashboard also, on the mobile also, and the web also. So user need not to go and upload the data for a web service and do that, because we are directly working on a service-based architecture. So through this way, you can do the editing also. In this also, apart from various other tools and capabilities are there, which we can like mention here, like you can all run the loop, downstream, upstream, all these contents can be. Like once you have done this, you can share this data. So like you can see, this is one of the example of the Indian data sets where we have mapped all the things. This is the service, and now with the sharing tool, when you share this as a web layer, this will be accessed through the same way you can access same information you can access through the web application also, where you can click and get all the information, and multiple tools like if I would like to identify any asset type, which type of asset type is there, all this can be multiple tools can be created. So this enable the web awareness also. And same way you can have a dashboard out of that. So same service is being used in the dashboard, is being in the mobile, and is being used in the dashboard also. So let me connect my mobile screen also to show you like how this will be visualized in the mobile. So I hope my screen is visible. So you can see we have our application, which is the ArcGIS Field Maps, one very first application. You can, this is a new application where you can easily log in with the same credentials through which you will be accessing that service. And in this, you have all the information, all the maps are available. So same water distribution map, which I was showing you in a pro, which I was showing you in a web application, I was showing you in a dashboard, and I can show you on a mobile interface also. Here user can easily see the map and the complete information which is there in terms of their assets. Sorry, due to network connectivity, it's coming a little slow. So, the ingest is to showing this a mobile application like if you would like to do an editing through the mobile, that's also possible. That will be covering in our next series of webinar. Here we will be today showing like how a single REST service we can use to consume in a desktop application, in a web application, as well as in the mobile application. Here you can see all your data sets, you can search your data sets, you can query your data sets, all these operations you can do. Just it's coming, I guess. My network is. So till the time it comes. So till the time it comes, or maybe we'll be covering this in a next series of webinar also. I think due to network connectivity, map is not coming to my screen. This is so today what we have covered, we have an out-of-box data model for the water segment, and that data model can be defined and can be created as per the utility requirement. And that data model, once being consumed on the ArcGIS Pro, it has advanced network modeling tool and a lot of out-of-box capability in terms of running the analytics, creating the data sets, and accessing it on a web enterprise environment where people in the organization can manage their assets, and using the pervasive access, you can access it on a mobile also, using dashboards also, and the web application also. And then in the further next upcoming webinar series, we'll be covering like how you can use these data model for the multiple use cases for your enterprise system, because in an organization everybody would not going to use their professional desktop users. So how you can enable your complete organization in terms of different applications for the planning team and your operations teams, and then further designing team. And then in the next last series we'll be covering how you can use the multiple field applications and real-time integration, and also the third-party integrations systems with the GIS for ease in operation and maintenance.